Oh, I think he meant 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're live now.
I gotta walk all the way over there.
Oh, that's fair.
I think it's been 10 seconds now.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, welcome to the Victory Point podcast.
Oh. I didn't know we were on.
I'm not even gonna give you a heads up, man.
We in this.
We're doing it live, right? If this is your first time, please like and subscribe to iTunes and on YouTube. Give us a good review on iTunes also. Joining us is Andrew.
Hey, Alex, thank you for having me.
And Tyler.
Yo, it's Normal T, as I like to be called.
We're still doing that.
I'm just a normal guy, you know. I'm here to talk about video games, which I play very normally.
What have you been up to?
That's a good question. I'm trying to think what I played. I played a new Samurai Warriors game. It's called Spirit of the Sonata, and you chop a bunch of people up, and then you watch a lot of people. It's kind of depressing because the game basically ends with every person you like try to protect during the game dying. So it's kind of like a buzzkill, but yeah.
What type of games are those?
It's a Dynasty Warriors offshoot. So you're hacking and slashing your way through thousands of warriors, as one does.
Yeah. What else has been new with you besides reviewing games? Are you planning for E3? I know you're going as PlayStation Universe, right?
Yeah, PlayStation Universe, my favorite site. Love that. Love PlayStation Universe. But yeah, E3's coming up. I'm excited. Booking some meetings. Andrew, what about you?
What?
I don't think that's the site. I think it's PlayStation Lifestyle.
No, I switched.
You switched?
PlayStation Universe.
Okay, fair enough.
Sorry. There's so many.
No, I'm sorry. I think he's going for PlayStation Lifestyle, not PlayStation Universe.
No, PlayStation Universe. It's a new site I just started. Everybody loves it.
There actually is a PlayStation Universe.
Is that PSU?
There's a PSU, PlayStation Universe.
I'm actually the editor-in-chief now.
Fair enough.
Just happened. Oh.
Like I didn't know it was like Lifestyle or Universe, but frankly, I'm not surprised it's not just PlayStation games, since every
They're interchangeable.
Video game website is.
I'm gonna be starting Scorpio Lifestyle because I am jazzed up for the Xbox Game Pass.
You know, the Xbox. That's your father Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah, 100 games, $10 a month,
which is really cool.
Deal. My dad's been working really hard on it.
Yeah, which is a really cool thing. You know, like Tyler mentioned, $9.99, and you can. One of the different things between this and PlayStation Now is the price. PlayStation Now is a little more expensive, and but you also get to download the games to your console, so you can play with an offline connection, which is really beneficial to a lot of users. That they'll be able to. You'll be able to play, you know, without an internet connection. And some of the games are, you know, big AAA budget games. You know, the Borderlands franchise is available, Fable 3, Halo 5, Guardians is going to be there. So, you know, I was talking to somebody about it, and they said, well, the month 1 value is certainly there. It's the month 10 value that they're going to be worried about. Will they constantly add enough games to this monthly?
So, like, the big comparison is like a Netflix for games, and I think there's ways that Microsoft can really use this to their advantage, do something really cool. And I know I'm probably not the person that should be speaking about this because I'm from PlayStation Universe, but I do have to say that I think it's really impressive. Like, there's a lot of great things they could do. I want to see them basically do like Netflix originals. I want them to like get like high-profile indie games that join the service, you know, like that month initially. Like the first way you can play it is through Xbox Games Pass. You know, there's a lot of ways they can do. They can also maybe set up something to where first-party games.
What's up? What's up?
Sorry. You're there, and you're staring very intently at the bottom right of your screen at the thing that says Alex, and I kind of think I'm scared that this is like a ransom video or something, and somebody's gonna come on and be like, "We have Alex."
There's like a bunch of static. It's great. All right, it's gone now, but yeah, they can.
Great.
They can make like first. They can make
Okay, so we're talking about Xbox Live Game Pass, and he was talking about how like Netflix have Netflix originals. Like if Xbox released, like what happens if Cuphead was an Xbox Game Pass original, where it was only available through Play Anywhere and Xbox Game Pass? I'd also like to see, I don't think they could do this, but I'd like to see an initiative of possibly, I don't think they can do this because it would come into streaming, and this isn't a streaming service, but like if I was a Windows 10 user, which I am, if I could play those games on a Windows 10 PC. Again, things like Fable 3, and there's a PC version of that, but I don't think that'll happen, but it would be cool.
Yeah, and another thing I think could work out, this might be something a little too risky for them to do, but like maybe some standardization when it comes to first-party titles. This is what I was trying to say earlier. Standardization of when they come to the service, like after like a game comes out 2 years later, it'll come on to the service, something like that. That might not work for like all service games because maybe like, I don't know, maybe Halo 5 is still selling 2 years later, but I think for most of their titles it wouldn't have like a big impact.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, fun fact about Halo 5 is they've earned more money through microtransactions on Halo 5 than they did in the majority of the DLC for the original Halo games, because Halo 5, they offer the main DLC for free.
Yeah,
and they have
so
those
maybe
packs.
that's a way they can monetize then, because, you give that game away with the subscription, and then they can make money on the back end, kind of like what they did with Phantom Dust recently, where they put that game out for free, which I think is a smart move because not many people were going to buy that.
Yeah,
really.
my Phantom Dust.
But,
Did they do any expansions for Halo 5?
No, like a bunch of maps and things like that, but those were all free. And then they had like these packs of cards and stuff that you could use in the Warzone mode. Was it called?
But most of it was not. I think with Halo 4, it was mostly single player. It was that Warzone DLC expansion, but those were like 2 packs. But I don't think that was received too well because at the time, I don't think Halo 4 was received also too well. So I think that might have been a factor of that audience.
Yeah, and paid DLC for multiplayer games, something that's very interesting about it is you're segregating your player base. Because if I play a multiplayer game and then the first DLC pack, and then certain modes can only be played on maps that you have the DLC pack, it's going to segregate your player base in a sense that, I'm just going to stop instead of paying the $20 just to get the maps. So it definitely turns some people off through that way. So Halo 5 is very smart.
Titanfall 2 did the very smart thing where everything has been free and they've been updated in the game.
Very smart.
And I think that's the future of the genre. We're seeing like Overwatch have these huge updates all for free, adding new characters, adding new stages. We're just having that 1-year event right now, the anniversary.
Yeah.
And I think that's the future. We go through to like the loot box stuff. Because if you treat your community well, and we're seeing this with Rocket League too, people will gladly buy cosmetics and stuff and support the game as long as like they're treated well by the community. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Didn't they announce a mobile app for Titanfall 2 or a mobile version of Titanfall 2?
There's some mobile Titanfall thing.
I believe Respawn is working on a mobile app. And I don't know if it's in the Titanfall universe, but I know Respawn is working on something mobile right now, which is great. There's been a lot of deals lately. I know GameFly is having one of their clearance sale deals currently, and you can get Titanfall 2 for $20, and that's a great deal. Titanfall 2 is a wonderful game.
I just looked it up. The mobile app's called Down Titan, and you're going to play as a Titan that's falling down this well, and you have to shoot bullets to hover off the ground. I see where
you're going. I saw it. I was like, I got you. That's actually, by the way, that's a joke on Downwell, which is a very popular iOS. Great game too, but that's not what their game is called.
I think Call of Duty has done an adequate job, at least not fracturing its player base with DLC, because I think they have at least incentivized or enforced, buying the $90 value to get the season pass, and that way you're at least going to get the 4 map packs. At least the majority of its fan base is going to do that.
Yeah, again though, like some people might not, in a sense of like, like if it's zombies, for instance, $20 for a pack that includes a zombies map. If I don't buy that, if my friends all buy it, then I have to get on it, and
Yeah.
it's kind of dumb. But yeah, Call of Duty is just fine, except Call of Duty Elite. I don't know if you guys remember when they tried to launch that a few years ago. That did not take off. That failed, not miserably, but
what exactly was that? It was the subscription.
It was a subscription service that added you like more stats, so you could see more stats about your game and things like that. They also got slight discounts on DLC packs, and they were able to get them first and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it just did not take off, and it's not non-existent now. So,
I mean, I think that if they didn't have any third-party publisher relations or partnerships, I think they probably would still do a special like that. But because they're so tied with PlayStation, I don't think they're ever going to do that again.
Oh, Call of Duty?
Yeah, I don't think they're ever going to do that again.
Oh, yeah, that'll be interesting. I mean, PlayStation has definitely gone out and got a lot of those exclusives. Yeah. A big one that's going to be coming up this year is Destiny 2. They've announced that game will have some more exclusive content. And in a game that, I don't want to use the word devoid because I don't think it's fair, but in a game that's definitely, content is important, because the way Destiny works is they want you to do that content over and over again. We talked about it on last week's show. But even if that game launches with 3 strikes, and PlayStation gets an exclusive strike for a year, that's a lot of content in Destiny terms. So I think it's a smart deal for Sony to make that deal with Destiny.
As was stated in the PlayStation Universe preview, like the thing that's so important about Destiny is getting that content. And I think it's going to be a much more fleshed out game this time around.
Okay, whatever.
I hope so. Yeah, like I said, you can listen to our thoughts on Destiny 2 last week when we talked about the reveal event. But yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic about that. Hopefully they do enough to pull me back in and keep me there. Speaking about reveals, though, wait, say your thing and then I'll do.
Okay, I think we've been ignoring the big story here, which involves some rabbits.
Yes, I was gonna. Good segue. I was gonna say, speaking about reveals, and I was gonna talk about the 2 big ones. The first one being.
Are there 2 big ones? Because I can only think of Rabbids X Mario.
We talked about Far Cry last week. So
yeah, Far Cry 5. They showed some key art today. That's what I was going to mention. Looks like the rumors that it is set in Montana is true, and it looks interesting. And one thing Far Cry does do is they present these very Djangoistic and menacing antagonists. Sometimes they work out and pan out. Sometimes they fizzle. But, between the Jackal from Far Cry 2, Voss in 3, and Pagan Min in 4, they've all been... Look, I remember their names, so they have to be decent characters to at least remember them. So this one hopefully will present the same thing. But yeah, Mario X Rabbids, which is the long-gestating RPG that was mentioned late October last year, was the original rumors that came out when all the Switch hubbub was coming. But yeah, this looks interesting. I mean, they showed that key art, but... It's a weird looking thing, Tyler.
Oh my god! So some like advertise like their internal marketing plans for the game leaked out. It's made some like quotes from this because it's the best thing ever. So what it's delivering is a refreshing experience. So this is what it says: a conservative universe, no more humor and self-mockery. Turtle shelves? I think they meant shells, but they put shelves. I don't know why. Can do better. Weapons for the first time. A distressed princess? So cliche. Self-defense kick-ass. That's how they describe Peach. And their timeline for this title is to have a surprise announcement of June. That's kind of already screwed up. They want to convince the media and gamers in July.
That's my favorite one. What are we going to do in July? We're going to convince the media and the gamers.
Yeah, they're going to do that by having previews. And then in August, they're going to go big for launch. It's going to have a Gamescom presence. And then they mocked up all these fake magazine covers. Like there's Game Informer and Game Reactor and all these UK mags, and it's the funniest thing.
That's real good.
It's all great. And the game has an epic roster. There's the
8 characters total.
There's the Yoshi Rabbid, which is the crazy one. There's Princess Peach, who's the badass princess. There's Luigi Rabbid, who's my favorite. I really relate to him. But he's kind of the opposite of normality because he's the unstable. Mario's the leader. And then for the Princess Peach rabbit, it just says #sassy, #no filter. And
I kind
then,
of wish that that's just her name.
yes, that's #sassy, no filter.
Yeah, hashtag sassy no filter. Get over here.
And we got the Eagle Eye, who's Luigi. Rabbid Mario is the Macho Man. And then Yoshi is called the Explosive Head. Like, this is like the most French marketing thing I've ever read. Like, none of this makes like any sense. It's amazing. Like, I need this game in my life.
Now, could this have been, or could this be the big reveal during E3, like the one last thing that they always have during E3? Is this going to be it, or
No? Like what they like to do for their last one big things are you? Well, I mean, I don't think so. I think that'll be more of like a
Assassin's
I don't
Creed?
want to say AAA, but more of like a, like I don't know how to describe
Like
it.
maybe
but,
what Retro Studios is working.
yeah, they want something that definitely has the multiplayer aspect to it. And Rabbids X Mario does have a multiplayer component to it, but they like the reveal. So they like a grand spectacle. You know, they had Steep, they had Watch Dogs, things like that. I think Assassin's Creed might lead the show because I feel like that is
for
yeah,
Ubisoft,
that's their biggest game.
I gotcha.
And yeah, I think we will definitely see it. You know, as you saw in the internal memo, they said surprise announcement at E3.
It is interesting. Ubisoft is publishing this, not Nintendo, which is
yeah. That's why I wonder how Nintendo
strange.
felt. I wonder how Nintendo felt with like the words "badass" next to one of their IPs. Doesn't seem like a very Nintendo marketing, but
Yeah,
I'm excited.
It's like a turn-based RPG. It's kind of nuts. Two players, local co-op. It's going to be about 20 hours long. Developed by Ubisoft Paris. Oh no, it's really.
But this
weird
does open the. Yeah, but this does open the door to the possibility that Nintendo is more open to licensing than it's ever been before.
Hopefully, I hope this leads to like when they were on the GameCube, and they were just like putting Link and Soul Calibur and Little Mac and fighting around too.
Ubisoft is very helpful to Nintendo because they're very supportive of them. So when like the Wii U launched, they launched a bunch of games. I mean, look, one of the better Wii U launch games was Zombie U, which was a Ubisoft game. So, you know, they've always been there for Nintendo, and I think like, you know, the good graces paid off. And I hope this game's great. You know, I think the Rabbids can get tiring in big doses, but I think the Mario RPG formula, the writing on those games are very sharp. And sure, this isn't entertainment systems or anything like that, but I hope that this game's funny and it has, you know, not super complex, you know, RPG mechanics. If it's something like a South Park: The Stick of Truth type of combat system, which has just enough depth to be engaging throughout the game, I think it can be something really cool. And I'm excited for it.
You know, you're speaking to that Ubisoft Nintendo relationship. There's also rumors that Beyond Good and Evil 2 could be a Switch exclusive. So, like, maybe they show that off.
That would be very interesting.
Nothing like killing Beyond and Good Evil by putting it on the Switch.
No, I don't think.
There's
already millions of those things out, and I think the majority of them would. I don't want to say a majority of them would buy Beyond Good and Evil 2, especially if the first game's not available for people to experience on the Switch.
Here's the thing I do think is maybe they'll remaster the first one like they did with Bayonetta 2. But I think what the big advantage of it being on Switch, at least maybe if it's a first, maybe it's a next time deal, who knows. But I think the big advantage is it becomes one of that platform's key games. Well, if it came out on PlayStation 4 on Xbox One, it kind of get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah. I mean, it has to be a headliner.
That's the same thing that happened with Legend of Zelda. I mean, nothing came out, but that was the main game you had to get in February. He even beat out Heavenly Sword. So for the most part, yeah, you're right. But
Heavenly Sword?
I don't.
Is it 2006?
I think you Skyward.
I don't know why I always think.
I know. Yeah. You're thinking of a game with another redhead protagonist in Horizon Zero Dawn.
All right. I don't know why I thought that.
It came out a week before Zelda, and that game sold very well too. Hey, I like Heavenly Sword. I'm on camp like Heavenly Sword, so
I'm more of an enslaved kind of guy.
I like that game too. I think that game's great. Ninja Theory, right? They're working on Soul Blade. What's it the new one called? Hellblade.
Hellblade.
Yeah. Which I did a VR experience for that, and the VR experience was pretty cool.
Oh, they're doing VR for that?
No. They're not doing VR for the game. They have like a 360 video. through it when
Oh,
you
okay,
went
that's
into
cool.
that, and it was cool, and you saw it through the eyes of the main character in that game, and I thought that was really cool. I like those games, and I like their partnership with Andy Serkis that they have. He was in both of their. He was in both Heavenly Sword and Enslaved: Odyssey to the West. So
Yeah, they did.
A lot
They did that Devil May Cry reboot, which
yeah,
I
yeah,
thought
DMC, which was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 for 3.
I was getting roasted whenever I mentioned it in a review. Oh yeah, I'll praise DMC, and it's like
Yeah.
it's like the best bait because people get so mad if you praise that.
Yeah, I like DMC. I actually replayed it recently on PC, and they did a good job with
A
it.
lot,
Great version of the
TV,
game.
a lot of TV, film, even music, or even using VR as PR. So I don't know if I like it or not, but it's good. It's good filter to get. It's good prologue filter.
Now, I will say this. My one worry is that this is a joint venture between Ubisoft Paris and I think it was Morocco. No, I don't know if you have that still.
Milan.
Thank you. But the games that they
Morocco.
made, these guys have been the Just Dance studio. So they've worked on all of the Just Dance games, and then they worked on a few versions of the Ghost Recon Wildlands, the Windows version and the Xbox One version. But they are the Just Dance studio. That is what they've been known for the majority of it, and obviously the Rabid games a while back. So hopefully they get a chance to shine, and this game really does pay
So
off.
basically, you take the Joy-Cons and you have to dance to the rhythm to do your attacks.
They also did Michael
the
Jackson The
magic.
Experience. They also did ABBA You Can Dance. Don't forget ABBA You Can Dance. So, and they also did Red Steel 2. So sure, I hope it comes out. They did Red Steel 1, 2, and then they also worked on, oh my God, what was it? They worked on
my favorite game, Red Steel 1 2.
they worked a little bit on let's see if I can do this. I can do this. Peter Jackson's King Kong, the official game of the movie.
Oh, nice.
The longest title ever.
They worked on that. They worked on that and a few other things too.
That was a big launch title.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that game. It wasn't awful.
Bad. Yeah, it wasn't bad.
They also helped on
easy
187
achievement
Rider Die.
list.
Yeah, they also worked on 187 Ride or Die. So yeah, but no, cautiously optimistic. Like I said, hopefully it has some fun humor. Nintendo has to. I'm sure they'll mention it a little bit, and hopefully they mention some other things in their press conference. But another big news story that we didn't get a chance to talk about: Red Dead Redemption delayed into 2018. Again, I don't think there's anybody. I was sitting next to my coworker when this game was announced earlier this year, and I go, I guarantee this game does not come out this year because Rockstar always delays their games, which is fine.
I'd say they really delay it. I don't think they put a release date for the last one for the when they announced it. So I don't think they were.
They said September. They said September this year, and then they delayed it till spring 2018. So Q2, which again,
true. But
like I said, make the best game.
I don't think anyone was really expecting them to hit it because normally I think the last Red Dead came out in May.
It came out spring of 2010.
Yeah,
so.
But I think they're going to use the same method. Not a lot of press coverage, but 2 months leading up to it, they're going to be all over the websites, advertising like crazy.
And this is Rockstar, and it's Red Dead Redemption, so they really don't need to sell it as much as some other games might because it's a very popular franchise. But
it's still been 7 years. I mean,
absolutely 8. It will be 8 when it comes out. Yeah, but I think there's a big enough fan base.
And also, the original is on was on Xbox One, so
backwards compatible. Yeah, that's awesome. So you can replay. Red Dead Redemption's one of my favorite games. I love that game, so I'm excited for more people to play it. And I hope Red Dead Redemption 2 is great. A little disappointed that John Marston might be somewhere in the story. I felt like his story was wrapped up pretty well in Red Dead Redemption 1, but we'll see.
So I told the story that I haven't finished the campaign. I just get to the point where it's been 7 years, right? We can do spoilers.
Yes.
So 3-minute warning. You can just fast forward 3 minutes. But I get to the point where he dies, and I kind of just shut off the screen. I don't ever go back to it. I just play the multiplayer, which was pretty good. I would say it's up there with Last of Us as console multiplayer.
Multiplayer was fun because it laid the foundation for what GTA Online became.
Yeah.
So it was a cool little thing. But yeah, I mean that game's great. And then if you pursue it, there's another mission you can do during the credits or after the credits roll, where you can play as John Marston's son and sort of avenge your father in a way.
Yeah.
But yeah, what a brilliant game! What a great way to end that game with that whole situation with John Marston, one of my favorites. But yeah, I mean it's cool. You know, like I said, games have delays all the time, so this is nothing to worry about or anything like that. But I'm excited for that one. Should be cool.
I mean, I think a lot of publishers are now taking a sigh of relief, especially like, you know, if it released in September, that means
it was going up against Destiny too. Now, again, Rockstar's a big company. Red Dead Redemption's a big name, but Destiny is a very big name too, and Destiny's launching September 8th. So if they would have launched any time in September before or after that, September 8th, the first Friday or a Friday in September, I think they would lose some money on that. I'm not saying that this is the reason why they delayed it, but I'm just saying I'm sure they are very excited to not have to go up with the juggernaut.
Those games have such a long tail. Like GTA is still selling tremendously. That like they might lose like some money short term. But like long term, it wouldn't really have much of an impact.
Yeah.
So, is there any hope, or is GTA Online going to be a part of this? Because as someone who liked GTA 5, I felt like I got my feeling from it, but that community seems like it's just taking it over. Like I've seen the highlights, I've seen the YouTube clips, but like
I'd be very pessimistic to not see a multiplayer component in Red Dead Redemption 2. I feel like they'll do something. Even if it is just GTA Online copy and pasted into the Red Dead universe, because that would, offer up a plethora of gameplay differences. So, yeah, I'm sure they'll have an online component, which is a shame, but also makes sense because Rockstar wants the money. But I for one, I liked GTA 5.
The original had multiplayer, right?
Yes, it did. Red Dead Redemption had multiplayer. No. It was, again, like I said, it was a very GTA Online-esque multiplayer where it was open world, and then you guys gathered together in like these small hobbies to play versions. So it was a cool thing. It was a cool thing to toy around with, and they expanded on that. They took elements of that, and they took elements of the GTA 4 multiplayer, which also had some really fun situations and like stuff with that, and made something really great with GTA Online. I didn't spend a lot of time with GTA Online, but the people that I do know that love it really do like it. Unfortunately for me, I love the single player content of Rockstar games, and GTA 5 didn't get any because they focused on GTA Online more, which is fine.
I get you. I get you. But looking back on it, I don't think I truly admired how much they did in terms of the open world design when they mashed the multiplayer on top of it. Because I don't know if I didn't really get that feeling from GTA 5 as much. It just felt like a bunch of skirmishes and things you just did in GTA. I don't think it really worked too well in GTA.
It's very interesting. I mean, like I said, one of the ways people like to play GTA Online is role play. So when I like to play GTA, and I remember, I'll never forget this, I had a sleepover birthday party when I was younger, and GTA 3 had just come out. And we had GTA 3, and what we did was we just got 6-star wanted, and we saw how long we could run away from the cops after we got 6-star wanted. So, the army comes and everything, and we would just run around and see how long we could last. So GTA Online is sort of similar in a sense that it is what you make it, So people role play those games. My guy was named Jimmy Two Shoes, and he was a hitman. And I would play him as a hitman. It was pretty good. Don't give me that. But and then they added the heist, and people really, when it worked, people really liked the heist that they added. It took arguably the best element of GTA 5 single player, and it made it a multiplayer experience, which is really cool. But again, if it's not for you, it's not for you. But it's been doing really well for them.
I just hope that in the day that they ever announce a Max Payne 4, that they don't strap on or they don't put on a GTA and equivalent online experience.
Phrasing?
Yeah, no, it's phrasing. Yeah.
First off, I would love a Max Payne 4.
Yeah, but it better be single player exclusive.
I heard somewhere, take this with a grain of salt. I don't know if officially Rockstar said this, but I heard that the next game might be Bully 2 after they do Red Dead Redemption 2, but that is like a 5% rumor or something. It was floating around some sites, I believe, but that's not official in any way, shape, or form.
That's been floating around for a while. Same with Agent. Like, it's usually in May you start hearing Agent rumors pop up again. It's like Agent might pop up during PlayStation. It's like you never know, but like at a certain point, I think Rockstar is only 2 studios at this point, 2 studios, and they only focus on currently, I would assume, is GTA 6, and then Red Dead, Infinity 3. So, yeah, love that studio, but I assume that we're going to get GTA until we die.
Probably.
You know what? I think they're still rocking and rolling. I think they have smaller studios. Obviously, San Diego and Rockstar North are the 2 big ones.
They're working on the new table tennis game.
Rockstar London's still rocking and rolling
for the Switch.
So Rockstar.
There are rumors about a Bully sequel. Like, I guess that's what one of them are working on.
Yeah, but
wait a second. Didn't I just say that?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. No, it's fine. I was like, wait a second. Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah, PlayStation Universe reported that, right?
No way, shape, or form.
I apologize. I'm a bit out of it.
No, you're fine. No way, shape, or form is that confirmed or anything. It's just that's what I've heard. So that'd be cool. I mean, I love Bully, so.
Does it still hold up? Because I've always wanted to go back to it.
Yeah, I think Bully holds up. I mean, it holds up as well.
You play it on the Wii, Alex. That's the best version of the game.
Those other PlayStation games, I mean.
I played not Hitman.
It's on PS4 now. Bully is. You can play the trophies.
There was Bully, and then there was, what's the one that was banned in most countries? It was Manhunt. I was like, it's not Hitman because they just hit most of their developers.
I think GTA 4 and Manhunt might be my favorite Rockstar games now that I think about it. Manhunt's a good game. Right? It has some problems mechanically, but what a thing. I can't believe that thing existed, especially at the time that it did with Jack Tretton and things like that. Just coming out being like, this is arguably the meanest game you've played today.
And then it came to the Wii, and they're like, you're actually going to be strangling people.
Manhunt 2 came to the Wii, and it was like, saw their heads off.
I'm surprised that Nintendo didn't even allow that to happen.
Right? It's a very violent game. And then what they did, though, how they got around it is the executions. They put a little, VH. Was that a 2-liter of Coke?
No, of course not.
Oh, did you just down? Are you downing a 2-liter right now?
That's how we do it at PlayStation Universe.
Stop.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my goodness. God bless. But yeah, they put a VHS, filter when you're not watching a VHS. They cover the executions in Manhunt 2. That's how they got around it for, the Wii and the MPA. But then they released a director's cut AO version on the PC that got rid of that, and you were able to see everything. Manhunt 2 is just not a good game, unfortunately. Manhunt 1, pretty good game. Cash was the guy's name. And then Brian Cox played the main antagonist in that game. Actor Brian Cox, which was really cool. And, that game was violent.
I would say what separates 1 and 2 from Manhunt is that 1 at least provides some context for the reasons you're doing it. 1, you're like a Hollywood stuntman who has to do these acts. 2, it just feels like I'm going to be a murderous prick and just kill everyone. At least that was
2 years escaping. You're like an insane asylum patient, and you're escaping and stuff like that. And then, James Cash was from the first one, and he was a death row prisoner, and he was supposed to be, or he was executed by lethal injection. But instead of executing him, they basically kidnapped him and put him in this thing, and they wanted to make a snuff film to sell. So they basically are filming you as you kill all these people to sell on the black market, which is really, really gross. But interesting. I mean, I
got my pre-order in, and then the film never came out. It was very disappointing.
Jesus.
Oh, the days when pre-orders were outrageous.
Wow, the days.
Where
have you been? They are outrageous.
Well, I would say they actually weren't that bad compared to now.
No, back then they weren't bad as now. Yeah, now they're awful. That's what I was meaning. they're rough now these days.
Looking back on it, it's like, oh, you get a helmet and you get the entire game with all of its content, no DLC, no micro. Oh God, where were those days?
Yeah, I know, right? The good old days, right?
But yeah, what have you been playing, Andrew?
Yeah, I got a chance to check out the early access game called Dead Cells, which is a roguelike 2D like side-scrolling action game, and it's really cool. I'm really enjoying my time with it. So yeah, to put that into perspective, you play as like this blob, and it basically takes over this suit of armor.
You don't have a head, right? Isn't
Yeah,
the
you
thing
don't have a
get
head. It's like and you're going through it. You have one ability to start, which is just a sword, and then you can pick up either a bow or a shield. And then some things persist, and you're picking up these dead cells, and you can use these dead cells to upgrade certain things that persist from run to run. But if you, like, for instance, if you pick up a blueprint for a specific weapon and you die without getting to the next safe area, then you lose that blueprint. So some things carry over, some things don't. There are health flasks that you can get and things like that. And it's really great. Like, it controls so well. It feels so good to play this game. Like, mechanically, I'm really enjoying my time with this. And, it's challenging the later levels you get to. And, I keep going back to persistently upgrade my things. I'm playing with more ranged weapons and, like, a sword than a shield. So, really enjoying it. And the developers have said it's about 80% complete. So I'll be interested to see what they add to the game, because it is an early access game. I believe $15 or $17 on Steam right now. So really cool. And then,
do you think that's a fair price in terms of early access? Do you think it's since it's early access, do you think it's worthy of that price?
Yeah, it's a tough justification for these type of games for me personally, because like I can't put a value on Dark Souls, for instance, because everybody will play Dark Souls differently. If you're a magician in Dark Souls and you play that game, or if you play that game differently than me, you might get 60 hours where I got 120 and things like that. But I think the price that they're asking for is fair right now with the content that'll come. Again, I only got to about like 3 or 4 worlds in, because the game is challenging the farther you get. But there is that great draw, and I'm really invested in games as I get older that I can pick up and play, for 15, 20 minutes and feel like I get a good value out of those 15, 20 minutes. And for this game, whether it's a run, I also like that I feel like I'm accomplishing more in this game than a game like a Flint Hook that we talked about, a few weeks on the show. I like that I'm, persisting more. I think Flint Hook's a great game. So Dead Cells, you should check that out. I also have been, fiddling with another Souls game called The Surge, which is also very Souls-esque. Again, it's a cop-out, but the elevator pitch is essentially Souls with mechs.
That game seems shameless enough to where it's not really a cop-out and just...
Yeah, but there are some really, really unique things about it. One of the most important, in my opinion, is you can target specific body parts. And depending on the body parts you target, if you do an execution move, they'll drop, more times than not, that specific type of armor, weapon, and things like that. So if I'm running around with a helmet and I want a new helmet, I'll start targeting enemies' heads and doing the executions on that, and they'll start dropping head pieces.
That's cool. So they're basically kind of blending like that Dark Souls gameplay with like a Monster Hunter type.
Yeah. And like I said, they do some unique things. I don't want to spoil the reveal in the beginning, but I don't think I've ever played a game where I control a protagonist in this way. Again, I don't want to spoil what that reveal is. It's literally,
I know what it is. Yeah.
It's literally the first 2 or 3 minutes of the game, but I'll leave that reveal for you if you check it. But there are health stations, they're the equivalents of bonfires in this game. They're the equivalent of souls in this game and things like that. Interestingly enough, though, you get specific weapons and then you upgrade them in 4 tiers more than, other things. But yeah, so you can upgrade, the arms you wear, the legs you wear, the chassis, the head, and things like that. And I've been enjoying it. Like Tyler mentioned, it is very, Soulsian in the way it presents itself. It's not trying to be something. This is from Deck 13, the same developer that did the Lords of the Fallen, which came out a few years ago, which was very much Souls-esque in a way of, but in a fantasy setting. This is more of a sci-fi mech setting. And interestingly enough, the antagonist of this game is essentially Mark Zuckerberg. It's essentially the CEO of a very big corporation social media company, and he's essentially doing these things, and it's interesting. And again, I've been playing it for in 15-20 minute chunks, getting to the next bonfire. The one thing I don't like about it, one of my favorite parts about the Souls games, is that world is an interconnected world. So you'll play that game for an hour, 2 hours, and you'll hit a door, and then you open that door and it'll connect to some place where you were a couple hours ago, and that's a really cool feeling. Unfortunately, how this game is structured is you have a universal level, and doors are gated behind that universal level. So I can't get to the next area until I hit level 20. And I don't really like the structure that is, because it essentially you're gated in a specific area until you master that area enough to get enough souls to open a door essentially and get to the next area, which I wish it was a little bit more open.
This game might be fun now, but I think when we look back at this game in like 20 years and Mark Zuckerberg has like taken over the world, we will be able to like fault this for normalizing monsters like of him that are running these corporations.
Well, I think Zuckerberg is not the only one to be portrayed this way. I mean, Steve Jobs was portrayed tons of times like this, but
another awful person.
Yeah, and they don't, obviously, I want to make clear, they don't mention Mark Zuckerberg or anything like that.
It's just actually Palmer Luckey.
The guy who's the guy who's talking to you just happens to be a CEO of a very big, technology
sometimes
company.
when you turn the game on, it's really weird. But the Surge, sometimes when you turn that game on, you're not the robot anymore. You're actually, like dressed up as Quiet from Metal Gear Solid 5. It's really strange. I don't get it, but
Pepe the Frog, just he's like the first boss that you have to partner with as a co-op.
Yeah, he's constantly showing up.
Yeah, but an interesting game. Like I said, it's not going to set the world on fire, but it's a great one. It's a good one of what they are trying to do, and I think that's always cool. And I hope this game does well enough for Deck 13 that they can refine it just a little bit more, because Lords of the Fallen was good. And then I think this game is better than Lords of the Fallen. And I think hopefully third time's a charm. And I hope this game does well enough for them that they can get that third chance and make another game like this. There is a market for them.
They seem like one of those like burgeoning like AA like developers that we're seeing now. Like they're bigger than an indie, but they're not like have the polish. We kind of see that with Spiders too, which is a French developer that did Bound by Flame and the Technomancer. So we're kind of seeing that like kind of mid-ground pop up again, which is really cool.
Do you think this is going to last the entire summer, or is this going to just last until E3 starts? Because this seems like it's either going to go one or two ways.
The Surge?
Yeah.
I think people have already forgotten about the Surge, unfortunately.
Right.
Again, it's very interesting because that, may be a topic for another day, but in 2017, the year of our Lord 2017, we see a lot less smaller games. Not smaller games, but like these type of B-tier games. We see a lot, we see our few AAA games. We see a lot of independent games, thanks to those things. But the days of like the B game, or like what Tyler mentioned, AA types of games, we don't see.
B game sounds much better than AA, by the way. I think that's
we don't see a lot of those. We're not going to see any more Jet Li Enter the Dragons. We're not going to see any more of those type of games because the risk is just too large for these developers to take.
We're not seeing games like Rumble Roses anymore because we don't have those Double D developers either.
Damn it. I knew where you were going as soon as you said it. I knew where you were going, and I was like, he's gonna say it. I can't stop him. I can't. There goes Normal T. He's gone. Rumble Roses, for those that
Now
don't
it's
know,
just
was a
horny.
wrestling was that was a wrestling game that featured very scantily dressed women.
In PlayStation, that was PlayStation 2 era. Did that ever come
They
back?
made two of them. I think it was Rumble Roses and Rumble
Yeah.
Roses X. I think the second one was called.
It's a real shame they didn't get the 3.
Yeah. XXX.
Oh boy. But yeah,
Maybe we'll start the Kickstarter.
I'd say definitely, again, if we're talking about value proposition, I'd say, $40, $40, $30. Definitely check out the Surge. Dead Cells, if you're weary about early access games. Dead Cells is a very polished experience, so I would recommend, if you're interested in that type of game, you can take the plunge and try it out. But if you're waiting for it, like I said, they're about 80% complete. They're adding some more stuff, so you can wait a little bit longer before you check out Dead Cells. But yeah, super cool stuff. 2017's been just the bounty of riches, both big and small. So, and like I said, I mention this every week, but E3 is literally right around the corner. So, and you guys are both going to that. So.
I have a question for you, Andrew, and you, Alex. So we're talking about the Souls-likes games. Do you guys think Bloodborne 2 shows up? Like, I think it's more wishful thinking than rumblings, but I've been hearing talk of it. I think
it's
more
been
wishful stuff though.
It's been 2 years.
Yeah,
but it usually takes about 3 years to complete it.
It depends. So yeah, to talk about the development time of a video game is a scary subject because everybody's different. That being said, Miyazaki, they've come out and said that not the Crowned King, not Ashes of Arendelle, Sunken Cities, whatever the last Dark Souls DLC was the last Dark Souls. Dark Souls is done. I'm sure that's an over-exaggeration. That franchise will be back.
Demon Souls is back, baby.
Yeah, going back
if Miyazaki is, saying with those types of games, I can definitely see Bloodborne did well enough for them that a Bloodborne 2 makes sense. Will we see at 83? I don't know. If we do, I feel like it would just be like a CG trailer, sort of like
if it is like the 2018, maybe like a PSX, maybe or Tokyo Game Show would be a wonderful place to show something like that off.
Yeah.
If you're looking at PlayStation's lineup and what's not announced or what's not been shown, what could you give time to? We haven't seen a lot of Detroit. We haven't seen a lot of God of War. I mean, I think we get a release date for Detroit. We have to, right?
Yes.
But that's supposed to come out, but I would say that's probably not going to come out.
There's Dreams as well.
Whoa, are you saying Detroit's canceled? You don't think?
No. I'm saying that's not going to come out 2017. Maybe I would say March.
Somebody got to
push that back to the end of the financial year.
Slap David Cage and say, "Get that game out."
But that's there's no room for something of that type in the full. I mean, maybe there is. Maybe Sony believes in it, but where could you?
I believe in David Cage.
Where could you put it? September is Destiny, October and November are shooter months. There's nothing to, and then we know Far Cry is going to come out probably in November also. So
does anybody still care about Far Cry?
I just don't care about it. I played 4 of them, so I want to see how the next one evolves. But
it'll be very, very interesting.
If you want to see it devolve, you can just play Primal.
So, if you guys want to look it up for me, when did the last one come out? When did
February 2016 was Far Cry Primal.
No, but when did
Beyond Two Souls?
Beyond come out?
Beyond Two Souls was 2012, I believe.
But which month?
It's been a while.
October, I think. I just pulled that out.
Could it really come Beyond?
See how it goes.
It was 2013. October 8th, 2013. So a year off.
2013. I said 2012, but I knew October.
I just was wondering what the month was. Was it February?
No, October.
October?
Yeah, nailed it.
Could another David Cage come out in October? I guess, but
yeah, Heavy Rain came out in February, so they're all over the place. I can't wait for Detroit. I loved Heavy Rain. I liked Beyond Two Souls, so I'm on board. Give me the David Cage.
What's your thoughts on Omicron, the Nomad Soul?
I like the Omicron, the Nomad Soul too. David Bowie, my boy.
Your boy.
Yeah.
Fahrenheit. We only have one more. Indigo Prophecy. There we go.
Oh, I loved Indigo.
I liked Indigo. I liked Indigo. I liked the director's cut, not the original, but the director's cut.
There we go. That's the entire gameography for the Handy's Iconic Dream.
I was low-key obsessed with Indigo Prophecy. I loved that game. And then it was like the first time I really thought a game, I don't want to say shit the bed, but I think the final acts of that game are not very good.
The military base is awful.
Aliens and things like that. But yeah, I like David Cage's games, and I would always show my friends some of the set pieces in those games to show them, like, man, look at this. It's like a movie, essentially. So.
Yeah, and then he made Heavy Rain, which I still like. I like the soundtrack, but I don't think the gameplay holds up. But I'll get back to my point about like where if you were organizing the PlayStation conference, like, do you have enough? Like, is there just simply just too much stuff for something of that degree? Something of I was blanking. I'm blanking.
They can go as long as they want. There's no like.
They could the last one was about an hour and a half, about 2. So they could have done that. They could, but I'm just not sure what you could do with that.
They had a really great trailer for it last year. It was like a 2-3 minute thing. It just showed off the choices real quick. Like all you need is something that.
I like that
2-minute spot, and then put a date on there.
Also, we don't have any footage of Hideo Kojima's new game. I'm talking about gameplay footage.
And we won't. I hope we never do. I hope that game comes out and we haven't seen a second of gameplay. That's my biggest desire for that.
It's just more launch trailers. That's all it is.
I want to know nothing about that game except for like seeing Norman Reedus like breastfeed his oil baby. Like that's all I want to see from that game going forward. Like if this year's E3 trailer is just that baby suckling like the homie's like boob for like 2 hours, I'd be happy with it. That's the entire press conference. I would call it a masterpiece. I would be crying by the end of it, and I would give all my praise to Hideo Kojima. Somebody please interrupt me because I'm just going to keep on talking about
keep on
suckling the teeth.
Keep on talking about Hideo Kojima. Go ahead.
All right, so actually the new trailer is going to be 1-2 switch. It's actually him just playing the milk mini game over and over again.
He's just doing this.
Yeah, it's Norman Reedus though, and he's milking the cow on but instead of milk coming out, it's oil. It's going right onto the baby's face.
Like, what do you like? We've already done our predictions, but since we're only 2.5 weeks out, what do you want to see from PlayStation? Like, since we kind of got more news, and what kind of
I want to see more in God of War. I want to see that Spider-Man game.
We have to get like a big grandiose gameplay of God of War, right?
We already kind of gotten that though. I mean, like that was last year's E3.
We did. Yeah, we did. I feel like more. I don't want to say spectacle.
I think we're gonna get like a live gameplay demo.
So it wouldn't surprise me if PlayStation opens with Spider-Man because Spider-Man comes out in July. July sounds about right?
No, it doesn't have a date, does it?
I don't think it has a date.
The movie comes out in July.
Oh, the movie. Yeah, okay.
And since
we haven't seen anything of Spider-Man, so I think that would be a smart choice to open.
That would be cool
because we haven't seen gameplay of it.
I'd be down with that.
It looks great, but like again,
we
haven't seen anything.
With Crash Bandicoot insane.
It's like the 10.
Oh my god! It's just the polar bear level, and Crash is running towards the thing, and the things that are going to be in that press conference, God of War, Detroit, are running behind him, and they're like, "We gotta go!" And then it ends, and a guy in a big Crash Bandicoot outfit runs out of stage. So it's like he's running out of the game onto stage, and he's just out on stage, and he's like, "This is PlayStation."
All right, do we see Kingdom Hearts 3?
Kingdom Hearts 3 probably will never come out.
Okay, what about Final Fantasy VII Remake? Do we see that this year?
Probably because it's been
No, because they just said the development people moved over to start working on it. That game is not coming out until 2019 at least.
I know they have some people from like CyberConnect 2 working on some part of that game.
Oh, so weird.
What's going on. There's like 7 studios like involved with that in some way.
Okay. I guess if you want to see our full list of E3 predictions, wacky and sometimes off.
Stone Cold Locks.
Oh, what an episode.
That was
episode.
That was a fun one. I'll keep track of that one. I got a chance to play, or I got a chance. I was playing Injustice 2 over the weekend.
That's a good game.
I'm having fun with it. I like the mechanics a lot. Everything I'm going to say is going to sound exactly like Street Fighter V.
Now I'm interested
Yeah, I
in
was
your
gonna
hot
say.
take.
Yeah, talk to me about
Because
it.
for the most part, I hate the level cap on 20. Like 20 level cap for each individual character.
Yeah, but what
And
does the level cap do?
so like at level 10, you get a special ability, and then at level 20, you get another special ability. And this plays into the mini universe or whatever they're gonna call it.
Metaverse.
Yeah, what a metaverse, whatever you're gonna call it. And this allows you to get new gear, epic gear, which allows you to get better stats. So it really is a time sink. It allows you to keep on hunting for better gear, and um, and that's why I kind of bring up Street Fighter in a way, because it seems like it's picked on. It's it's using the Destiny element of going back from stage to stage, and they give you new stages. They keep on tweaking things around to keep the stages seem fresh. Um, but it's really repetitive though, the way they set it up. Um,
How's the story mode?
the story mode is not as good as the first one. The first one was about 7 hours. I think that's about right, 7 hours. And this one's really short. This one's about
Oh, interesting.
yeah. This one's about. It only took me about 4 hours to get through the entire story campaign.
Did you do both paths? Like, there's a secondary one.
I'll get into that because I laughed my ass off when I get to the second one.
Which one did you do first?
I did the Superman one.
Oh, okay. See, I did bats.
Yeah, because I wanted to see because the ending of I'll just spoil it. I'll just spoil it.
Easy.
No,
Jesus.
because okay, look.
Okay,
it's on YouTube.
Andrew,
It's
have you seen the Brainiac arc they did for Superman a couple years ago? There's a movie called Superman Unbound that came out on it.
Yes.
It's basically just that for the most part. They basically like do that exact same Brainiac plot.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It's the alternate ending. If you choose Superman, is not the canonical ending. I don't think they're going to choose that.
I think that's the way they go.
Well,
because nothing happens in the Batman ending. It's kind of like boring.
But it's easier for them to set up for Injustice 3 that way.
I don't know. I want to see everybody I want to see brain controlling Superman.
If you choose Batman, you push Superman into the Phantom Zone, and for the most part, that's just like, see you in 3.5 years when we make another one. And I found it really interesting that the campaign doesn't use all the characters. They don't. I mean, you fight some of them, but you don't fight the Joker. You don't fight.
You fight the Joker once.
No, I don't think you do.
It's the sequence with the Scarecrow guy. Because he drugs Harley, and then Harley fights the Joker.
Yeah, but still,
the Joker shouldn't even be in that because he's dead.
It's
weird. They made the Joker.
Wait! It's the sequence with the Scarecrow guy. You mean the Scarecrow?
Yeah. So this is the funniest part of this game. They made the Joker look more like the Suicide Squad character,
Jared Leto's Joker.
Despite him dying in the first game. He somehow had a facelift while dead.
Okay.
I don't mind that though. I mean,
wait, how does he come back to life?
He's just a hallucination.
He's dead, but
I will say this about the story mode: they have an awesome scene with Atrocitus. He's the Red Lantern, where he's dealing with Hal Jordan or whatever. There's all this blood on Hal Jordan's face. It's so dope.
Yeah, I've also heard a lot of things about the facial animations.
It's not bad, but compared to how much detail the first one went into, and then you had a comic book that was fantastic with Tom Taylor. I just think they didn't really flesh out or didn't really plan out what they were going to do.
They're doing a comic book with this one too.
But they didn't really plan out what they were going to do with the Injustice universe, and that's what got them in trouble in the first place. And this one acts as somewhat of a reboot. And I'm fine with that. I think Injustice is a cool universe to play around with, and I think NetherRealm's combat mechanics, they were fantastic in Mortal Kombat, and they're fantastic in once again in Injustice. But most of the combat mechanics or most of the combos are roughly the same. So if you're someone like me who played a ridiculous amount on the PlayStation Vita version, or just played a ridiculous amount and know each character pretty well, you're going to jump in and know what to do. So this is more for people who want an Xbox One port, or not a port, but an Xbox One version, a PlayStation 4 version, or even did they make a PC version of Injustice? So,
yes, eventually they did make a PC version of Injustice 1. No word on a PC version of Injustice 2, unfortunately, right now. But hopefully, I think High Voltage handled the port of the Injustice. Oh, no, excuse me. High Voltage handled Mortal Kombat X, and that PC port when it first launched was not great. So I think they were a little
maybe it's good that they waited.
Yeah, but it came out to be great, and I love the PC port of that. And I'd like to play this game on PC.
Did they bring all the DLC? The PC,
they did. They bought the XL. The XL edition was the one that I ended up playing on PC, and it looks great in 4K. Like some of those backbreaking moves and like the fatalities are like gnarly in 4K. Yeah, I'm super excited to play this one. I haven't got a chance to play it. I'm really interested.
I don't think you need to like buy it day one or buy the $100 DLC pass. If you're a fan of the Injustice brand, then go ahead. But
I'll talk to you off air. Maybe I'll steal your copy.
No, but
it's a very by the numbers sequel. They didn't really change anything up mechanically. It's just more Injustice for the most part. A lot of characters didn't make the cut from the first game. There's about 14 or so characters that don't return.
But I think there's 38 total when it's all said and done.
They added like the same amount that they cut out.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So it's not like it's lacking characters, but it was like a lot of my favorites from the first game, like Sinestro. I don't know why. I like all the Green Lantern.
My favorite thing is like Deadshot rose to the top of the tier list already, and people just stand on one side and use his guns to shoot people in tournaments.
Okay, now I feel less bad when I played it online against a Deadshot that like totally whooped my ass, and I couldn't.
Yeah, he's S tier, as the FGC guys call.
Yeah, that's the same thing with how I use Supergirl. Just use her lasers, then kind of swipe right, swipe left.
Cool. I'm still. You guys mentioned paint by numbers, but if the end product is a really pretty picture, I don't mind painting by numbers. I've heard this game's great. So
speaking of Wonder Woman, you saw Wonder Woman, Espo.
Yes. Okay. Sure.
Honestly, it's DC.
I did see Wonder Woman. Unfortunately, I'm not allowed to talk about it. The embargo's not up. I can talk about it on social media, but I can't talk about it. I can't talk about it or review or something like this. Unfortunately, right now. So I did like Wonder Woman.
Tweet about it right now.
I will say I like Wonder Woman, and I could do a link to the tweet I posted or my Facebook status.
How about you DM me?
Which is a weird thing. Warner Brothers went with a social media embargo lift, which was interesting. The actual review, they did just push that review embargo up, which I think is interesting. And they've in a bunch of markets and stuff like that, which is awesome. So they're confident in the movie. But I will say I liked the film. I also saw Pirates of the Caribbean, which I could talk about. That's another Pirates movie.
Why did they make another one of those?
Is this the Avengers of Pirates Caribbean? Just like everyone's
coming back? No. I mean, Barbossa's always been in all of them, and Will and Keira Knightley's characters are in it for a little bit because the new guy that he meets is Will Turner's son. So
what about Orlando Bloom?
Yes, Orlando Bloom, who plays Will. He's in it for.
So I don't know.
You're fine.
You're their actor names.
Yeah, and it's cool. Like I said, I don't think this is a good movie. I don't think it's, I think it's a very expensive movie between the sets and the set pieces. There's some cool set pieces in this one, but it's a tired act. You talk about paint by numbers, the segue would be good for this one. Like, this is another Pirates game. It's Jack Sparrow doing Jack Sparrow things, but not as well as the original one. Make no mistake, Pirates of the Caribbean 1 is a great movie.
Does Andrew McCutcheon show up?
Who did he play?
Sorry, he's a Pittsburgh Pirates.
Oh yeah. I like Andrew McCutcheon.
At least he was.
He still is. Paul McCarthy's in it for a little bit. But yeah, it was just Javier Bardem plays the bad guy. He's good at playing menacing bad guys, but it was just kind of empty at the end of the day. But it's but great stuff's on digital DVD. If we're talking about movies, Logan's on digital now and Blu-ray. John Wick 2's available on iTunes now. You can check that out. So a lot of great movies are finally coming to home office, so you can watch
Logan 4K. I'm gonna wait on, but I can't wait to see the black and white version of it.
Yeah, Logan Noir. I'm super excited to dig into that too.
I wonder if that's gonna be a trend popping up pretty soon. Even if the movie doesn't fit, I wonder if they're gonna start offering that as an alternative ending, alternative director's cut. I don't know.
Yeah, well, there is work that has to go into the black and white version. So if the director is diligent enough and wants to do the work, then that's fine. Like the Mad Max Chrome Edition didn't add too much to that movie. Mad Max Fury Road's a brilliant movie, but the Chrome Edition didn't add a lot to that. A lot of people who I trust have told me that the Noir edition of Logan adds a lot of texture to the film. So I'm excited to check out that version in 4K when it comes out. May 23rd, it's out. That Blu-ray's out. I just don't have it yet. I actually don't have a 4K Blu-ray player, and I'm hesitant to buy one because I will buy an Xbox One Scorpio or whatever they're going to call that thing, and I'm assuming that that's going to have a 4K Blu-ray player in it, just like the Xbox One S has. So I'm hesitant to buy one right now because I'm just going to buy one of those later this year. So I might wait.
We're all in on Scorpio, baby.
At this moment, I assume that's going to be named Scorpio because we've been saying Scorpio. Or did you see the SNL skit when The Rock was like the superhero
How they
Scorpio?
name it The Rock?
Yeah.
The Rock, yes! Xbox The Rock.
Yeah.
I'd be down. But yeah, I mean, lots of good stuff. All good stuff. Yeah. Kimmy Schmidt, I watched Kimmy Schmidt season 3 that aired over on Netflix.
You know what? Like, The Rock does have a history with Xbox.
He does!
He was like on there like
He unveiled the original one.
Him and Bill Gates. Yeah.
Yeah, he unveiled the original one.
What's that? Did he really do that?
Yep. It's awesome.
Sure did.
It's awesome.
Damn.
Also, the shirt's a little big for me.
It wouldn't surprise me if he's at the Xbox conference.
Yeah, he opens it up. He says, "Do you smell what Xbox is cooking?" And then they have a montage of all the great exclusives. They announce that they bought the Hitman Studio. It's lit.
Wouldn't it be great if like it's just all the Xbox the 3 Red Rains? It's like, do you smell what the Xbox are cooking? No.
Tyler, I'm the ghost of Scalebound. How are you today? Yeah, I mean, I'm excited.
It's funny you do that, Andrew, because with your balding head, you look a lot like Hideki Kamiya.
Oh, thanks. I'm gonna tweet at you and block you. Yeah, man, I love talking stuff with you. Oh, Chicken Run and Hollow Man. That was it. Hollow Run. That was it.
What is Chicken Run?
I was gonna tell a story about Hollow Man. I promised a story about Hollow Man.
Okay, go.
Hollow Man. So when I saw Hollow Man when I was 10, my family went to go see Hollow Man. I went with them. Creepy movie.
It has nudity in it.
So I was like, Mom, this movie's too creepy for me. I'm going to go see Chicken Run in the next door theater instead. So I went to go see Chicken Run. I was the only one in Chicken Run besides one guy in the back row. And it was really creepy. And then 15 minutes later, he got closer. Like he was 2 rows closer to me. And then about 15 minutes later, he was closer to me. And I go, I'm out. I'd rather go watch Scary Hollow Man than stay in Chicken Run. I was probably almost abducted there. I was so
Chicken
scared.
Run was scarier than.
Oh, it was terrifying. I was like, is this how I'm gonna go? Is this like the last moments of my free life that I'm gonna remember is seeing Chicken Run? And I was very depressed. I was like, I'm gonna go see Hollow Man instead. But yeah, that's my Hollow Man story and my Chicken Run story, and
it's like a dark turn in it. So there you go.
Yeah,
Chicken Run.
But yeah, so excited. Thank you for having me, Alex, and talking games and Chicken Run and Hollow Man and whatever the beginning of this show was. I hope somebody pays.
I don't know. I
hope somebody pays the rent to let you out. Also, what is that? Is that a trash can that you have upside down and your mic on? The Star Wars thing.
Yeah, it was. It came from like the episode 7 thing.
So. popcorn?
Yeah,
it's
popcorn.
I thought you were about to say episode 7 was trash. I'm like,
ooh,
hot take. I was like,
a lot of people do think it's trash, but no.
I was like, hot take. Yeah. Also, by the way, I ordered Taco Bell from a delivery service, and that should be here soon. So I'm excited.
Let me just keep on waiting. Let me just keep this going.
Easy. But yeah, I'm so excited. You know, we only have one more show before E3. One more show. I'm finalizing.
Maybe 2. I'm finalizing my plans at least to keep on doing recordings. Hopefully, I'm staying in an Airbnb, so hopefully nothing of that sort will actually, the internet won't be as bad as last time because I remember I kept on dropping out, trying to do a live reaction after the Xbox conference, which that was a mess.
Airbnb, where you stay?
Yeah, but we'll try to have podcasts after the press conferences as quick as possible, so we can give our first reactions, and then we will have recaps of the we will have recaps of these things, and you can always go to PlayStation Universe and check out their coverage.
Yeah,
Why not?
check out all my work.
very interested
Are
to see their
sponsoring the
Xbox
show.
versus-
Why not? Why are they? They are
I'm
sponsoring
very
the
interested to see the PlayStation Universe website's coverage of the Xbox press conference.
I gotta see if this is a real site. I don't.
It is. I swear. I googled it.
I guess it's PSU.com, but it's
it
not
is.
PlayStation
Wait,
Universe. Okay.
no, it's PlayStation.
But it's called PlayStation Universe. PSU.com, that's where you
Okay.
can go for all your news.
ladies and
It
gentlemen.
even has a
this has been
Wow.
this has been
My sister's FaceTiming me.
this has been the Victory Point Podcast.
Is she delivering the Taco Bell?
Andrew, where can they find you at?
You can find me on Twitter at ASVizito426. You can find me on VPDaily.com. You can do whatever you want. Just drop me a line. Tweet me. Tweet me all your hot takes. I'm on board. Hashtag tweet me.
Tyler.
Tweet me.
Find me on Twitter.com /Tyler Trees. You can find all my latest work at PlayStation Universe.
That better not haunt me.
Go play. Get ready for our extra long Rumble Roses XX live stream coming up. Tyler and I will be diving into that.
Yep, and then we have, if you're interested, we're starting a petition to get Triple X made by Ukes. So.
Of course. So,
We have the exclusive reveal for XXX.
Hideki Kamiya's not doing anything.
Anyways,
oh my god, we should tweet at him.
Anyways, you can find me on Twitter at almartinet. Email the show at podcast@vpd.com. Next week will be our 50th episode, 49th episode. So our E3 episode will be our 50th.
I don't know what to do with my hands. I started saying goodbye, and I don't know what to do with my hands. I started saying goodbye too early.
Anyways, we'll see you next week. Until then, thanks again. I need to run over.
Wait, we're still live. Ooh, no, there's no exclusives left.